Hi, I'm Julian Frost, N3Jeff with Ham Radio Outlet. Today I'm going to show a simple way of temporarily installing a dual-band VHF-UHF mobile antenna that will greatly increase your range when operating at home that shouldn't run afoul of your HOA. Many hams live in houses or apartments with strict antenna restrictions. This means much of their operating is on VHF and UHF, often using a handheld radio like this FT5DR. If you're one of those hams, you already know that with their short, stubby antennas, the range of an HT can be severely compromised, especially when operating inside the house. Because of this, you may be missing out on some good QSOs on local repeaters that might just be out of reach of the HT. This is where a high-quality antenna comes into play. The Comet CSB-750A VHF and UHF dual-band mobile antenna can really help. Yes, this is designed for mobile use with its fold-over design, but it's also great as a low-profile antenna for use in an HOA environment. Putting it together is simple. Just loosen the two Allen screws, pop in the element into the hole, and tighten the Allen screws again. Let's take a look at a simple temporary installation. The CSB-750A uses a PL259 connector at the bottom, so it'll need a mount that has an SO239 connector. I found the OPEC AM207LA right-angle SO239 connector is perfect for this job. It's low profile and it can be attached to a multitude of different mounts. Because I want this to be a temporary installation, I'm going to modify two items from OPEC. The first is the OPEC RP5N, which is a 5-inch diameter steel disc with 3M very high bond double-sided tape on the bottom. I'm not going to use the adhesive tape, but leaving it in place will not affect the installation or the operation of the antenna. The second item is an OPEC vice grip mount. Starting with the 5-inch steel disc, I used a number 5 step drill to create a 5/8 inch hole in the steel disc. I then threaded the barrel of the OPEC AM207LA through the hole and secured it with the locking ring. I then placed the disc on the balcony railing and used some C-clamps to secure it in place. For a faster, even more temporary mount, read quick removal, I also used some adjustable clamps that I got from Home Depot. If you don't want the antenna hanging outside your balcony at all, simply turn the disc 180 degrees and everything is totally contained within your property. Doesn't overhang the common areas and is nearly invisible from the ground. The FT5DR's antenna connector is a female SMA. The OPEC AM207LA terminates in a PL259. I used a male SMA to SO239 adapter cable to convert the two connectors, because that's what I had on hand. Had I thought about it, I could have used one of these adapters instead, though it puts more strain on the radio's SMA connector, so my original plan was probably the better solution. Next, I went to the kitchen and tried keying up some local repeaters on 2 meters. I tried each repeater twice, once using just the stock HT antenna that came with the radio, and then again with the CSB-750A attached to the HT. I tried repeaters that I knew I either could not get into at all or were a weak signal from that location.
Repeater.
I repeated the same test with the repeaters on the 70 centimeter band.
This is the HOA 440 repeater.
As you can see, in some cases I was not able to key up the repeater at all using the stock rubber duck antenna. In other cases, the repeater was very scratchy and I was barely making it into the repeater. When I attached the CSB-750A, I was always able to key up the repeater and the signal strength on the weaker repeaters was much better. This was a solid win for the CSB-750A. If you have a really annoying HOA and you can't even risk putting an antenna on the balcony railing, you can use the OPEC vice grip mount to mount your CSB-750A to a water pipe. The OPEC vice grip mount is designed to house an SO239 to 3/8 by 24 adapter, which is narrower than a regular SO239 connector like that on the AM207LA. So I got out my trusty step drill and opened up the hole to 5/8 inch. I screwed the AM207LA onto the vice grip mount and clamped it onto the water pipe on the balcony. This is completely invisible from the ground and from any nosy neighbors. Because the antenna is now flush against a wall, it's significantly more compromised than it was out on the railing, but it still outperforms the stock rubber duck antenna. The CSB-750A is rated up to 150 watts, so you can use it with pretty much any mobile radio in either of the two configurations that I've shown here. You can, of course, mount the CSB-750A on your car with one of the great OPEC, Comet or Diamond mobile mounts. OPEC also has an entire range of truck fender mounts available. Just search the HOA website for OPEC fender to see what's on offer. So there you are. The Comet CSB-750A 2-meter 70 centimeter dual band mobile antenna. It's on sale at Ham Radio Outlet until August 31st, 2025, so get yours today. For Ham Radio Outlet, I'm Julian Frost, N3JF 73.